Hello, everyone. This is the Youth Advisory Council. I'm Orion,
Lawrence.
I'm Tyler. It's nice to meet you.
and we're here with a business and tech company. Or
Uh-oh, got a little lag on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, technology. You're probably repeat your
Can you hear
Wi-Fi.
us?
Now we can.
We had asked if y'all were able to introduce yourselves.
Oh, okay. I'll start. I'm Zachary Lewis, and I work with Brick Rose Exchange, and we provide VR, metaverse, augmented reality events, and training for a variety of services.
Thanks, Zach. And so I am Johnny Martin Jr. I'm the founder and president of Cooperative Community Development, Inc. We are a Baltimore-based nonprofit community development organization focused on generational self-sustainability in communities and fostering creativity and innovation in youth. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's
Of course.
So the first question we wanted to ask is, how did both of you guys get into your careers? How did y'all begin it?
You want to start, Johnny?
Sure, I'll jump in. So, out of number one, necessity, and what I always share with, our youth and our cohorts is create, create, create. And so that's exactly what I did with cooperative community development. We had a need in our community that we needed a organized body, civically engaged with not only city processes, city agencies, how to get things done in our community, how to use 311 to our benefit so that we can see results in our community, how to navigate the city's code map so that you can know who owns a property, if there are any outstanding violations, how to move that along so that we can have aesthetically pleasing, clean, safe, welcoming communities. And we just did not have an organized body focused on that and focused on creating positive monetized opportunities for our youth. So I created it. And so I encourage, everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, all of the youth that are engaged with YouthWorks, both this summer and summers in the future, create, create, create. When you see a need in your community, go for it and just create the mechanism and the avenue to be able to get results and also to build yourself and your brand.
right.
Well
And
said.
Incredibly well said. Thank you so much.
yes, sir.
I think creativity is probably one of the biggest things for truly making an impact, because oftentimes an impact starts with an idea.
Right, right. And for Brick Rose, we see the emerging technology in the area of the metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, and there is a need for that creative expression in these developing fields.
Yeah.
And there's a future where many people will need this, and being able to work with youth and to train those who might not have had access to some of these tools, or even people who've used it in the real world. We wanted to provide that experience, and we've worked with YouthWorks, I guess, for 3 years. So we've been trying to help expand the business opportunities, and there is a huge business opportunity in this new space, especially over the last few years when people were shut in with COVID. This allows for a way for not only those who were shut in for COVID, but if we think senior citizens, people who live, you to develop a business around, no one's done it yet, of connecting people with their families that might be in retirement centers or
Right.
rehabilitation centers or isolated because of health reasons. You're able to now get that social experience by learning how to use the metaverse and virtual reality and augmented reality. And training and education, there's lots of opportunities there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So,
That's very valuable.
what would y'all say inspired y'all to pursue your career, or what?
If I can, I don't know if I have the ability to share my screen, but if I can share my screen very quickly, I actually can show you exactly what inspired me um, to, move along, get started, and also, create the organization. And so, can you see that?
No.
I
Hold on.
think the host has to share it.
Um,
Oh, okay.
if you
And
try
so,
to share your screen, it should work.
okay. It's doing something.
Yeah, try it again. Do you have two
We
mics?
just have to put it up once you share it.
Got it. Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. I don't know why it's not. Share screen. Share screen. Virtual technology. No, it won't let me do it. I think it's because of my settings. But anyway, what I wanted to show you was so one of our initial priorities as a development organization and what has been, our talking points collectively to the community, to the city, to the state, to our federal partners is that we feel a critical first step in equitable community development is us just taking a look at, the current state of the community. For example, we are headquartered in historic Irvington. Irvington alone has 132 vacant city owned lots that are normally overgrown grass, illegal dumping, you name it. These spaces are just not aesthetically pleasing. They're not useful to the community. So the inspiration honestly came with our first project at 240 South Monastery Avenue. It was a overgrown dumping ground. We found mattresses. We found bones in this lot. We literally had to call BPD forensics to come over and examine these things and make sure that nobody's going to see my footprint, 5 years from now or something, and it's actually human bones or something. But that was literally the inspiration. That lot had been overgrown and blighted since the earliest pictures we were able to find were from 2004, and you could the grass was 5 feet tall, just overgrown. So we literally took that on as a project in concert with a concerned resident that walked by it every day and just said, "Hey, what can we do?" To move this space along so that it's not a vacant, blighted lot and it's something that's useful to the community. And the rest has been history. That has been kind of a spurring project, if you will, or something to get the community involved so that they can see, hey, realistic, real time results. No
Mhm.
rocket science, nothing mystical and spooky. We see a space that is not usable, that is not aesthetically pleasing to us. We get together cooperatively, combine our resources, combine our energy, and transform that space into something that is beautiful, generational, and that the community can really use. And that really, I think, if I had to, attach something to inspiration for the organization, that's it in a nutshell.
It's a very valuable story. Thank you.
Right. And I think you also asked, how did we get started in some of that? So if you look at my background, you'll notice, do you know who those two guys are? Actually, three guys. So that's Steve Jobs and Wozniak, the creators of Apple computers. And we know they're Macs and Apples and all of that. So I look younger. I think it's because of my face and I'm skinny. But I actually go back to that time. We're all in that same. I was there at the beginning of all the things you're using today. I was there day one on the internet. I got to travel to all these places in San Francisco and New York and Chicago and Texas. And I was there at we stood up one of the first websites in the original days. We had to build our computers back then. You couldn't buy them; you had to build it. So it looks like they lost their internet, but hopefully they'll return. But and there's the challenge of how do we make the internet stable, and we see the challenges that they're facing because I think we're streaming out over YouTube. So,
And
so
part of the course, like these type
yeah,
of interruptions and
yeah,
figuring out, the best way to make this technology work for corresponding with the community, getting information out, having a presence, in media, especially from a minority perspective. We don't
right.
have a huge stake in media to be able to, get our talking points out and get us all aligned on the same page. So yeah,
And
very.
with this new media, it levels the playing field. The metaverse, anybody can create their own. You have your followings. We already have the tools to connect with each other through text or these group chat or a lot of these community apps. So now you can build environments where you can collaboratively work. And I think I heard you say when you talk about transforming neighborhoods with augmented and mixed reality, we can overlay. We can say, here's what it looks like. So as they're walking the neighborhood, they can look at it with their regular eyes, and then we can give them some glasses. And when they put those glasses on, or they can hold their cell phone up, this is what it's
Mm,
going to look like when they transform it. Do you see the
wow,
difference?
wow,
And within the metaverse, we can actually create the whole neighborhoods
wow.
where let's walk through the neighborhood how it will look.
Yeah,
So we can do the before and after, and with the VR goggles, they can get a sense. And that way, when they invest, they're investing with an understanding. Here's what's here, but here's what CCD will do, and
where we're going.
other developers and architects, how coming together,
Yeah,
we can transform a neighbor from an artistic and livability standpoint,
yeah,
and train youth to know how to take areas that might be in need of some transformation by learning the skills of carpentry and gardening and
correct.
painting and demolition
Right.
and all of these skills are needed in order to transfer. And by partnering with all these organizations and coming together to think about where can we go, and
Yeah,
then developing our youth, and youth can do it.
right.
I wish they were back here. When I was in school, I went to a boarding academy outside of Philly. That was part of it. Every student had to work.
Yeah.
So I worked on the farm, I worked in the manufacturing. Oh, they're back.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey,
So let me tell the story again. When I was
Welcome
a youth and young, I attended a boarding academy, and we were talking about transforming neighborhoods to connect to what CCD does in the reality of training youth not only in tech skills, where the metaverse, where we could take what's out there. So you can look at the neighborhood or lot or area that looks down. We can build out in the metaverse an overlay, or actually an augmented or a mixed reality where we'll overlay. Here's what it's going to look like when we transform it, so people can see the vision as they walk around the neighborhood. And then we can train youth to actually do the demolition, clean out, and do the construction, and understand how to build. And I was saying, when I went to a boarding academy outside of Philly, I got to do sidewalks. We transformed buildings. I remember we took an empty space, a building that was empty, created multiple offices. We did everything from demolition, taking out stuff, to build the walls, to put up the drywall, to put in the drop ceilings, the light, the electrical. So I learned all of those skills through the programs that we can provide through all of our collaboration
Yeah.
in understanding how these things come together.
And that's really exciting to hear, Zach, because that is really the premise, of CCD as an organization, as a cooperative. Like, it's really an opportunity for. I can't tell you how excited I am to hear you say, being able to walk through the community and see in a virtual way what it will look like when we get where we're going, because we in fact, are a very visual people. We want to see what the results of our labor are going to be. And you have no idea how valuable a connection like that is when you talk about equitable community development. Because, I say constantly to Baltimore City's leadership, from the mayor down to the agency leadership, that we can't at all change the landscape of Baltimore, the tone of Baltimore, the crime in Baltimore, all of that stuff until we address the environment. Like
Mhm.
drives all of that. If I'm coming out of my door and all I see is trash on the ground, vacant buildings, overgrown vegetation, no development in our communities, no resources being put in our communities, open drug sales, how am I supposed to feel, about the community? I go venture to say that most feel destitute, hopeless, and lost. Like, how do we get out of this? And aside from the sheer showing you this is what we can do, that also drives a kind of a psychological piece as well. If
Yeah.
you can just see that there is hope beyond what you see right now, there is, some positive improvement and resources that can come into your neighborhood. And we just have to be the driving force about that. There is no Calvary. No one's coming to rescue us.
Right.
We are the Calvary. And we have all the tools to
there it is.
Successful. Yeah.
We have the resources. The resources are the young men, the young women, the community. And it's just a matter of connecting them with the tools and giving them an understanding. Here's how we can do it. And It's been done before. That's, when we think about redlining and some of the things that have been done, they let a neighborhood go down, then they buy it cheap. And next thing you know, there's a resort or something fancy. Same things they've done, we can do before they come in and try to buy up all the property and be able to help. So these are all opportunities, and I'm just glad to be part of this discussion. I know I have to drop real soon, you guys. What are your final questions? You want any other questions?
I have one. I do have a.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say first I do want to address. I really do. I love the point you had made on Baltimore about how environment matters and how we can only change when we ourselves change.
We're getting there. Yeah. This is where we need the 5G out there. And these are things we can solve.
Right.
Getting the mayor to put some more towers and getting the connection. Because that's one of the things, having these dead zones or not having the redundancy in. And this is part of the things I used to work on.
I'm so sorry about the internet, y'all. Our internet at the Mayor's Office of Employment is kind of not doing well right now. We might have to end the stream early because we can cut it out. But thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for carrying the stream despite our internet issues.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a really interesting topic also.
I wish we could have gotten to talk more with y'all more intimately.
Well,
yeah, so look, I would just say, just as a matter of closing for us, I would love to invite the Youth Advisory Council as well as Brick Rose Exchange out to Irvington. I want to get you guys' eyes on the footprint that we're working on some of the initiatives that we're working on, because I believe that there are clear connections for us to be able to not only move our mission, but empower youth like yourselves. I'm proud to say I served on the Youth Advisory Council in my heyday in high school. So I know it's a very, very important connection for you guys. And I just would love to continue to connect the dots at the community level.
Yep, we've got emails. So, let's plan that. And I'd like to do this again. Hopefully they'll come back. So when you guys have good internet, maybe we can do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
Here, so you can head over to Brick Rose Exchange. We'll plan. You can do it on site at Brick Rose.
Cool.
We have the internet there. So
that'll be dope.
That is a field trip. There you go.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
Because we do have a physical space with internet.
wasting you guys' time. Thank y'all for
No waste at all. Thank you for this. And look, we were still live while you guys were popping in and out, so we just try to keep the conversation going. But thank you so much. This is just
Thank you guys.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
for tolerating it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everybody.
You
All
also.
right, bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a great summer.